Hello, everybody. We're back at it again. I was feeling a little patriotic today with the flag. I don't even know what arm to get to hit. So, yeah, feeling a little patriotic today. But I just wanted to let you know that this is part 3 of the song creation series. And before I even go any further, I just want to apologize to everybody that the first two were very, very thrown together and, to be honest with you, very, very boring. Nobody wants to sit there and watch me develop a rhythm track or lay down guitar tracks. And I don't even know if you want to watch me process the song as we go along. I'm doing it anyway just because I like to make content and see what people like, see what people don't like. And I got to tell you though, since part 2, this song has come a long way. I've added multiple different tracks of different elements of the song. And the music in itself, I think, is just about complete. There may be a couple of things I add, but right now, I kind of like the way the song is sitting. There's still no lyrics to the song or any of that, but I would like to play for you some of the things that I've added, and maybe today we'll talk about a little bit of the processing that will go into making the final mix and the different ways I could do it. And maybe by the end of the video, I'll decide which direction I want to go as far as the mixing portion of certain instruments. And then part 4, I probably won't strain you with me sitting there trying to lay down vocal tracks. Maybe at the end of the video, I'll throw some clips in there of me doing takes of the singing and stuff. But other than that, I'll spare you all those. But right now, let's get into part 3 and let's listen to what I've got and see how it turned out. See you on the other side. Welcome back, everybody. It's already a day later from when I videotaped the beginning of this video. I did the whole session and I went to go put the movie together and I had no sound. Wah, wah, wah. So I'm doing it again. Fix the sound problem. It's all good. Let's see what I can show you here. So basically, on this, if you guys remember, the last time you saw this, I probably had that many tracks. Actually, maybe that many. 4 tracks, and now it has blossomed up to what it is here. I didn't even count them, but I'd like to go through with you each of these tracks and kind of let you know what I did. As far as processing goes, I've done some processing. I put a low pass filter on the drum tracks so I didn't get too much air out of them, even though they're electronic. Still adding, you never know when you're gonna, at the end, if you're gonna add any extra oomph to it. I just didn't want it to get out of control, so I rolled it off at about 9,500 kilohertz. And what I did with the drums is I took them on a bus, this bus right here, and I bussed it over to this auxiliary input that I created for the drum track specifically. I labeled it Drum FX right down here. So what I did was, after I did that, I went ahead and I put a little reverb on the drums. I put a Lexicon 224 on them, and it makes a little bit of a difference. It kind of pushes the drums back a little bit into the mix so they're not so out in front and in your face. and I just dialed in very little. I just sent. I didn't send the full dB. I think I've got negative 4.3 dB going to the reverb right now. So it's pretty well under control. And then I have the master. Well, the master's still the same. Got them panned respectively into this left and right stereo. On the drum effects, I pan these a little more just to get a little more space. And I'd like to play for you now just the drums on what they heard. And I'm not going to play the whole thing. We're just going to do like the beginning, and we'll just go from there. So here's what it sounds like now. Wait a minute. Darn it. What am I doing here? Sometimes I guess it's all right. You hear ever so slightly, a little bit of reverb. As you can see here, it's barely touching into the green here. Now if I turn this up, you can really hear the reverb come out. I didn't want it to be that prominent though, so that's why I left it at about 4.3. If I can ever get it back there. Oh, actually, why don't I just do this? 4.3. Yeah. It gives you a little bit of reverb, and the only way you would really hear it is if you isolated this track, and you'd hear a little bit of that reverb. It gives a nice spatiality to the drums. It kind of pushes them back just ever so slightly, not overwhelming, and yeah, so that's what I did with the drums. I added a wood block. This wood block is just a very basic wood block that I got out of my keyboard that I found, and it is just a wood block. I don't know what it is, but let's see what I did here. I've got to go back. This has been a week since I've done this. So I gave the wood block its own auxiliary input as well and bussed it on bus 3 and 4 over to its auxiliary input. And on this auxiliary input, I placed a time adjuster plug-in. Now, that's a type of delay that you can add to a wood block. I'm going to play it for you without the... actually, what I'll do is I'm going to play it with you without the effect first so you can hear just what the wood block sounds like with the drums. Let me get the drums in there. All right. Here's the wood block with no effect. Just a very subtle. It's not going to go through the whole song. And that's the end of that wood block for right there. Now, obviously that wood block happens in 3 different sections of the song, or 3 sections of the song. But the cool thing is when you add this time adjustment delay in, it takes the wood block to a whole new level. Let me demonstrate. This is what the time adjuster added to the wood block. It's so cool. I mean, I don't know if I'll keep it, but I definitely like what it did. So for now, I'm just going to keep it. I actually did some automation to turn on the time adjustment, because the last set of wood blocks I actually don't use any time adjustment on it. It's just straight wood blocks because the rhythm is different. But so anyway, so that's the drums, the rhythm section, if you will. And of course I did a bass as well. I'll play the bass part for you. The bass, I did not play an upright bass. I played my keyboard. I found a bass patch in it, a fingered bass patch, and I did it that way. I know it's cheating. I tried to write the bass part so I could pick up a bass and play it if I ever was in that position to do it. And it's easy. It's pretty easy, and I like the way it turned out. But here's the bass. And I actually got bass effects in there too. What did I put in there? I put in I put in a phaser on the bass. So, but that phaser's not on. I wrote some automation to only turn the bass phaser on in one section of the song. It's the only section it appears in. It never gets turned on again. But this is just the bass part with everything with the drums. Not yet. Here it comes now. I roll a little bit of modulation. If I'm playing the bass on the keyboard, I roll a little bit of modulation into the keyboard to give it that little bit of vibrato feel. You don't want to overdo it though, because then it just doesn't sound very natural. But yeah, that was the bass part. Let's see what else. Now, the acoustic guitar part turned out pretty good, and I think you guys saw a lot of that with the video that came out on Thursday. And I apologize. It was such a long, boring video of me trying to record acoustic guitars. It was, it's hard for anybody to sit through that nonsense. But trying to rush through, but give you as much information as I can in a timely manner, so that we, can move things along. So right now we're going to play the acoustic guitar. Actually, you know what? I already played the acoustic guitar for you. What I'm going to do, I played that in part 2, I think, the whole thing. So I actually added another guitar track, and this is an electric guitar track. It's got a different melody to it, and it complements it so well. And didn't take me long to come up with it either, which surprised me because, things always take a long time. This is the other guitar part. Anyway, moving along. Yeah, that second guitar part sounds so good with the acoustic. And at the end of this, I'm going to play a short little bit of the whole thing as it sounds. I'm not going to play the whole song because there's things that I want to reveal later. But one thing I didn't mention about the acoustic guitars is over here, I did do a little bit of processing with the acoustic guitars. Um, and I did that with the second guitar track too. I'll start with the second guitar track that we just listened to. I put an EQ curve in there, and it's just an EQ. It didn't need any compression. It was running through my amplifier, which is compressed enough anyway, and I just mic'd my cabinet and found a good, nice, halfway dirty bit and turned the guitar down a little to get that nice picking sound. But I also, as you can see, rolled it off the top end of the guitar. I think it's rolled off at about, oh geez, I want to say 7 kilohertz. Just rolled it off a little bit because the guitar was awfully toppy, and you know. But going back to the acoustic guitar, I did some processing on that as well. I found out after I recorded it that my stamina for playing the chords, even in the different parts, even though I broke it up, was not, my playing wasn't as tight as it should have been, or that as it could have been. But I did add a compressor to help me out a little bit. This is a Fairchild 676 Legacy, and it's ever so slightly, as you can see, I've got the threshold set pretty low at like 0.5, and then I also put the input very low as well, and I left the outputs right up the middle, and it added just a little bit. It brought the strength of the playing up just ever so slightly, and I don't have to worry so much now about the guitar dropping out at certain parts. And then I also added this EQ for the acoustic guitar, and it sounds pretty nice. It took me a little bit to figure out what I wanted to use, but it worked out good. Anyway, I'm going to move on now to the other things that I did with this. Let's see. What did I do? What the hell did I do? I'm going to just leave the drums on for all this. A nylon. I added a nylon guitar, but not through the whole thing. Just at certain parts of the song, the chords I was playing needed a little bit of extra and a little more, I call it a little more body and depth. But I'm going to play this for you now, just in this section. And it turned out pretty good. You'll hear the drums, and then you'll hear this guitar, this nylon guitar, and you're going to laugh when you hear it. But and that's all there is to the nylon guitar. That actually occurs 1, 2, 3, 4 different times in the song. Just that little bang, and it really brings out the parts. When I play it at the end, you'll hear more of what I'm talking about. But moving on, I don't think I did any processing on the nylon guitar. Yeah, no processing done on the nylon guitar. Actually, the rest of these tracks have no processing on them whatsoever, other than what's inside of the keyboard that I used to create what I did. Now, the next track I did was organ, left and right. I found a cool organ patch, and the organ is only at the end, so I will play the end of the song for you, just so you get an idea of what the organ sounds like. And that's that. Here we go. No drums. Everything falls out here. I think there is acoustic guitar here. Yeah. So And that's that. That's all the organ there is. I wasn't going to put organ through the whole thing. That really puts you to sleep. I can't believe I'm still awake. Anyway, moving on. I also added, I found a cool bell patch, little bitty tinkly bells, and they only occur during the solo part of this song. And right now, what I'm going to do is I've got the drums playing, but what I think I'll do is I'll shut both of these off and just let you hear the bells for right now. Where, if I can get my cursor over there. All right. This is the bells coming up. You notice how it cuts off very abruptly. And you can't tell that they cut off abruptly when it's mixed in with everything else. And then I did this one. And those two little parts where the bells come in just bring that little bit of extra body out in the music and gives it a little more dynamic range. But what I'll do is now I'll play the drum part with it. Might even have to move that first bell clip a little bit. This is all guitar stuff going on here. So, yeah, those are the bells. That's the only place the bells occur in the song. I'm not gonna wimp the whole song out. Anyway, so what's left here? I've got a sweep left and right, and that's just a silly little patch that I put on here for the end of the song. I will go ahead and do that. I'll highlight the organ and the sweep, and then you can hear it all. And then I think up here on the guitars, I did something too. Yeah, a little bit of slide guitar. I tried to do slide guitar tracks on here, and it was virtually impossible. It's either my guitars or my slide. I've got a glass slide. It's not the very best, and for a slide guitar, if you're gonna play slide on the fly, and my guitar could have a hand and factor in that as well. But yeah, so those are all the tracks that I added. I'm gonna play the whole thing for you now and just let you hear it all. And I'm not gonna play it all. I'll probably I'll go a little ways, maybe just past the wood blocks and the nylon guitar, leading into the next section. So here we go. Oh no, that is not the what you do, Pat. Come on. You'll like it. block gives a nice dimension to what is going on. I still don't know if I'm going to keep the time delay on them though. It sounds just as good without it, but it's an extra dimension. And then it goes into the next verse, and so forth. Well, I'm going to wrap this video up. It's 25 minutes. Oops, sorry. But it's shorter than the last one. Maybe they'll get shorter and shorter. It's hard to describe everything. And rather than make 11 or 12 different parts, I just want to keep this locked down to maybe 5, 6, or 7. Maybe make part 7 the mastering part. But either way, I'm gonna call it for today. So thanks for joining. If you like what you see, please smash the like button, and you could subscribe to my channel to receive notifications on when I post or publish new content. And then you can be right there and waste time right along with me. Thank you again for joining. Take care, and God bless.